What's up and welcome back to the Kinda Funny Gamescast for June 3rd, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Greg Miller.
Good day, Tim. The order is restored.
The seating order.
Yes.
And Andy Cortez as well.
If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime.
That is true. Don't you ever forget it, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're out there and you forget. You're like, what's that thing Andy always says?
They don't want you
If
to
you have
remember
Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. Set a reminder so you don't forget.
Set the reminder, everyone. It is Summer Game Fest season. It is announcement season. It is Switch 2 season. It is PlayStation season. It is Xbox season. It's all the damn seasons. It's exciting times for everybody. We didn't know that a State of Play was happening until we did. So we just did a Kind of Funny Games Daily where we gave our predictions, me and Bless, of what we might see at tomorrow's PlayStation event. But we're doing a full-ass Xbox Showcase prediction. Each one of us bringing 5 predictions for what we think Microsoft has up its sleeves on Sunday, when, of course, we'll be live reacting to the showcase. Then after that, doing our Gamescast breakdown analysis of all of that. Because this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast, where each and every weekday we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kind of Funny membership. It's the best time of the year to do that because we have so much great Summer Game Fest coverage, so much great Switch 2 launch coverage that you're going to want to get ad-free, and you get the daily exclusive Greg Way. So get on all that stuff. For a chance to be part of this show, submit your YouTube super chats. If you have predictions or things you want to see at the Xbox Game Showcase this weekend, please let us know so we can get through all of that. Little housekeeping for you. We're throwing a Switch 2 launch party this Wednesday, a.k.a. tomorrow.
Can you believe
it? Boys.
Can you believe it?
Tomorrow, we're going to get our hands on the Switch 2. That's incredibly exciting. Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. Tune in as we party all night long. We're going to pick up, unbox, and play our Switch 2s for the very first time. And the party's not going to stop until 10 in the morning when Games Daily starts. And we're just going to keep the day going. So it's going to be a nonstop Switch-a-thon. Remember, we are an 11-person business all about live talk shows. You already had Games Daily about PlayStation State of Play predictions. And then you're having this amazing Gamescast right now talking about Xbox predictions. But guess what? The fun doesn't stop there. Instead of a stream today, because there's just news out the wazoo, we're going to do another Gamescast that is going to be Blessing and Andy and whoever else wants to join them talking about the Witcher 4 tech demo that they showed today that looks, Andy, you want to tease it?
Well, I'm sorry, Tim. I can't even think about that right now because now I'll just have to take on the Celestial Pest or whatever that thing is later. Bless.
Oh, I mean, I can help you out.
But what's the third boss called? I forgot what it's called.
You're close. It's not the Celestial Pest. It's something Pest.
Something Pest.
Something
Pest.
Remember the Pest with John Leguizamo? I know you do.
I only saw screenshots from this, Tim. I haven't watched the thing.
Exciting.
So
I watched parts of it.
Very exciting times.
All the murmuring, all the sort of buzz around it seems like, okay, it seems like another one of those, CD Projekt Red, we love y'all. We've been tricked before.
I had that exact same thought. First of all, it's called Sentient Pest. Secondly, I did watch the first 5 minutes of it, and to spoil part of it, there's a part where they zoom into the horse and show its muscles. It's in the inside of its leg to show how detailed the horse muscles move. So
they should
it should be a fun episode.
Kevin loved the Pest, Greg.
That's who it was. I knew one of y'all loved it. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah. Shout out to Johnny L, man.
I don't know that I did.
Luigi.
I don't remember anything about the Pest.
Oh, really?
I
watches your
love
sister
John
then.
Leguizamo.
Yeah. Your family
Sexaholics
and the
stand
Pest are connected in my mind.
There's Latinos and Leguizamo who go together really well. I knew a lot of friends growing up who love Leguizamo.
Then, if you're a Kind of Funny member, Snowbike Mike goes big with this month's Patreon exclusive poster made by the incredible Panda Musk. You can shred the nar on Patreon before the month ends. You can check out this beautiful poster made by Panda Musk. Each month, he is celebrating one of the members of Kind of Funny, and you can get all of that on Patreon. And today's Greg's review of the ROG Ally X so far, which is really exciting on the heels of what is probably an announcement of the ROG Ally 2.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Right? We got plenty of things to predict here. We got plenty of things to predict here.
Whoa.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Xreal, but we'll tell you all about that later. Let's get to the topic of the show. The Xbox Game Showcase 2025 predictions. Let me read a little bit from Xbox.com for you. Make some space on your calendar. The Xbox Game Showcase 2025 will be live streamed on Sunday, June 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific, which means we will be live around 9:30 a.m. Pacific to react to what we're about to see. Following in the footsteps of the 2023 Starfield Direct and the 2024 Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, this year we will again have a double feature with the Xbox Game Showcase immediately followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct. It all begins with the annual Xbox Game Showcase, bringing you a look at upcoming titles from across our first-party studios. In addition to incredible new titles from our third-party partners across the globe, this year the show will be digital only. Our live stream will bring you everything you need to know about what's next for Xbox, no matter where in the world you're watching. Immediately following that, the Outer Worlds 2 Direct will bring you inside the walls of Obsidian Entertainment, revealing new gameplay, details, and developer insights straight from the people making the sequel to the award-winning first-person sci-fi RPG that we just reviewed again.
That's right. Go check out last
Check out
Thursday's
Gamescast.
Gamescast. Me, Andy, Stella.
Outer Worlds.
Touching hands.
And
I think
Greg, are
Andy's
doing
out
hand
of this
stuff.
world. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, check that out. No, 9:45 Pacific time. That's when we're going live with that one on Sunday because it's a crazy weekend. I said 9:30. I was wrong, everybody. It's
somewhere around there.
9:45.
You'll be there.
It's somewhere around there. And then the post show after, of course. So before we get into our predictions, I want to have a top level conversation, digital only. Do you think that has any effect on the announcements or anything of this showcase?
No.
I don't either.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You could have. Was last year's in person?
I think all of them had some level of an in-person, like they did the in-person events. They showed the
digital
pre-recorded
thing to
but they're
the
not doing
audience.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't give a shit about that. You're fine. You're good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a cool thing that they did, and I don't really understand why they're not doing it. But
Return on investment.
maybe
Live
yeah.
events are hard and expensive.
Yeah.
You know this all
Yeah,
too well.
Yeah, that's true.
What are
That's
they really
true.
getting out of this? And I think I've seen community members already stepping up and doing.
They are
other live
doing a
stuff.
community one. Yeah.
I think also possibly we see a similar thing that Sony's done in the past and other outlets where it's, the green screen presentation thing, but then, introducing the next game would be, here's a dev with not a whole lot to say, but it's enough to, put a face to the name and make it a little bit more personal,
Yeah.
Sure.
So then let's do it. Let's get into our predictions. Each one of us will bring 5 predictions to the desk right now. Andy,
One thing I do want to call out is that once you put this setup and you get the green of flowing on Kind of Funny, you can't keep Paris Lily away.
True.
As much as you want to, as much as you try
We don't.
to.
It's his bat signal.
He infiltrates. So I do have Paris's 6 predictions.
6 predictions from Paris. I love that. And then Mike is sick, so we sadly can't be here.
Yes. You can't keep him away. Just let him go to Disney Land and lick everything.
World.
And lick everything. I started to say world and I stopped myself. Paris points out he's hosting an Xbox community event. I wasn't sure if that was public because I had gotten emailed about it. So yes, Paris is in fact hosting one. You could go to in LA if you're there.
Andy Cortez.
Hey, Tim.
I'm going to start with Blessing.
Oh,
In your face.
I hate that because I was literally
Okay, Andy, I'll tell you.
I was about to type in what are some Xbox games.
Fucking Bless. God damn it. Because
I have
Andy
predictions.
Cortez, we're starting
Glad you
with
did your homework.
I did, but I don't like what I wrote.
Been there.
Take it all back. I have a kind of a weird one that I think will throw people for a loop. It's nothing even
An
title
outer
wise.
loop.
It's nothing even title wise. It's nothing IP wise. I think that we will get PlayStation mentioned 4+ times.
So, okay.
You will see logos. You will see
No.
an Xbox person say coming to they are not going to make this just Xbox centric.
Amp it up. Shuhei Yoshida will be there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Amp it up. You know what I mean?
Mario's gonna walk up. Doug Bowser. I think you're gonna see PlayStation being mentioned 4+ times. You know what? 4.5+ times, and
See,
then you
here-
take the over under.
Here's my thing. I think logo-wise, yes. But, my one thing for you to make this, spicier, will we hear the words PlayStation even once? Because I think that's where I'm a little bit more trepidatious.
Okay, well that's where I want to lean back a bit. That's where I want to okay, I'm cowering. I'm Homer Simpson going back into the bush
Yeah.
because now Well, that also just kind of goes against their sort of mantra,
they
play
do it.
anywhere.
Yeah.
And we know what they mean by play anywhere. Maybe when they say play anywhere, then like you get a quick little one frame of Jim Ryan or something like that. But I don't think I'm gonna say yes just to be extra spicy.
Wow.
I'll say yes.
All right. Greg, what's yours?
The Outer Worlds 2 releases on September 4th, 2025.
Oh, fuck. I like this.
Thank you.
Why?
I think I'm very much cribbing the homework from Starfield. Remember when they did the Starfield Direct, obviously, they then put the date on it there, which was September 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere in there or whatever. So I'm picking the Tuesday that I think lines up with that to get that out. I also looked at, the release dates, obviously, for the rest of the industry. Seems like a good enough time to drop an open world RPG to get it out there and get it some limelight before the next big thing comes.
I like that it's such a specific date.
Thank you.
That's good.
I wanted to be specific. I have many specifics here.
And I
I'd
hope
give
that
you an
they
extra
do it.
point. Yeah, if you get that exact though, yeah, you get an extra point
I
for
like that a lot.
An
Thank you
extra
very much.
point.
Yeah.
See, I feel like if he gets it wrong at all, you should not get any point. Get 0.
I'm
If
with
that date's
Bless.
if you're 1 day off.
It's a prediction.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, technically.
Well, like I don't know. I just think him going the extra miles, like you deserve a bonus point if you get it exactly. If you don't get it exactly, then you get
I feel
0.
like I need like 5 more sentences before
Yeah.
I'm like
When the entirety of the prediction is that.
Well, the prediction could be that Outer Worlds 2 gets a release date.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I'm
that's how you
going-
do it.
I'm hanging brain here saying September
No.
4th, all right?
to fix your prediction, you should say Outer Worlds 2 gets a release date. That release date is the fall, specifically September 3rd.
Hilarious.
I will stick
Okay.
with September 4th there and let that go, yeah. Well, there are so many other things I started kicking around. I'm like, oh, man, well, how would I put this? Where would I put that?
See, this is fun because I do have a theming for my predictions, at least for a portion of them, because I've now started remixing some of these because I want to get more exciting. But the theming overall for my Xbox predictions is that 2026 is
Big
a
year.
banger
Big
year
year.
for Xbox. And so to start off, we're going to start off with Outer Worlds 2 since Greg mentioned it. Outer Worlds 2 impresses at the Outer Worlds 2 Direct. It gets a fall release date, but then later this summer, it gets delayed to 2026.
No.
Adding to the banger year that 2026 is going to be for
They
Xbox.
can't do that. They
No.
can't delay it to 2026.
We'll see.
Don't
no.
you dare.
No.
see.
Outer Worlds? You're
Outer Worlds
crazy,
2.
dude.
It's an IGN first.
Obsidian delaying a big first-person RPG that's coming out in the fall.
That was different, though. Avowed had no juice. They knew they had no juice with Avowed. They needed to make the juice.
I don't think they would do the direct without it being imminent.
I agree with
Like,
that.
look at the
100%.
Starfield, look at Call of Duty. That's their MO right now.
Yeah. I think,
I mean,
too,
I'm-
to the
oh.
point of, remember, the rumors were last year with Avowed getting pushed, right? It was strictly because of how crazy everything was, thus giving Obsidian more time to work on Outer Worlds 2. So it didn't seem as tight a timeline as it actually
That's fair.
as it would have appeared. I can't. I think when they put Avowed at the beginning of this year, I was like, well, there's no way Outer Worlds 2 is coming this year. And then the doubling down on it and giving this, direct presentation, I'm like, no, I believe now. They can't do it. They can't take it away from me.
We'll see. I'm trying to get spicy with my
I
predictions.
understand. I hear you.
What exactly do you think we get delighted by in the
In
trailer?
Outer Worlds 2? Oh, I like that question.
Specifically.
Ooh,
Have
I
you
really
looked
like
at
this
the
question.
IGN coverage?
No.
Okay.
Sadly. So
No, that's good because
yeah.
I think IGN's coverage, you go, oh, like I perked up listening to Michael Hyam talk about it.
Because I'm already somebody I'm all the way into Outer Worlds because I fucking loved Outer Worlds 1. And I'll say one of the things I liked a lot about Outer Worlds 1 is how many of like the scenarios you can like solve with
Permutations.
permutations, like conversation stuff or like, knowing the engineering stuff or whatever. So like, I think maybe more permutations as far as that stuff. I'm sure that's already been covered. And so people in chat are probably gonna be like, oh, they've already announced that. But I'll say that. I'm gonna say they show us some kind of dialogue sequence and like show us how things can go different ways.
I'll tell you this way that yes, Hyam's coverage has touched on that, but it hasn't been as deep as you think. So I
Okay.
think this is going to be the deep dive of here's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's also the idea that like Hyam in his the preview I watched, right, didn't even get to play. He went there and saw a bunch of stuff, but didn't get to play it. For me, I think the surprise and delight of it is going to be how good combat is. I think combat's going to look good. I think guns are going to be more crunchy. I think melee is going to be more physical. Even me listening to the stuff, I didn't watch a lot of it because I wanted to have that reaction to the direct.
It already looks miles better. Obviously, that just comes with time, and that comes with engine upgrades. And I want to say they're using Unreal Engine 5 Somebody will correct me on that, but as much as I like the Outer Worlds 2, and I think it's like a really fun, good video game.
Outer Worlds 1.
Outer Worlds 1, it looks really bad in some moments, and sometimes you go outside, it's like not like this whole place looks like it's just lit, like there's like they turn shadows off. Like there's a lot of moments like that in the game, and already with what we've seen with the IGN first sort of the footage that they provided to them, like walking through those interiors look freaking fantastic. I really want more. What I'm hoping to see to kind of go off with the combat is I want to see more like gravity gun type shit. You know, we talked about it in the review how I kept on being asked while I was playing it on stream, have you found any science weapons?
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to, but people telling me, oh, that's where you shoot a thing and then it's like an anti-grav thing. And like, that's the stuff that I want more of from these games.
More
and
wacky.
Yeah, I want us to just see bodies flying and like telekinesis type powers, you know?
Tim.
Y'all are out here doubling down on Outer Worlds 2.
You're going to triple down.
And that's fine. Double fine.
He's doing it. He's crazy.
Crowd
But here's
goes
the thing.
crazy.
Double Fine announces their new game, but I want to get a little spicier than that.
Thank you,
I
because
think
there's a
that's
lot of
little
boring
too
people named
easy.
Paris Lily who wrote in and says, Double Fine's new game announced. Thanks. All right, Paris.
Point blank. Period.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Double Fine's game will be here on Sunday. But I want to add a little like extra wowie zowie factor to this.
Please.
This is based on nothing, but my mind. And my mind thinks about numbers a lot. It thinks about success and thinks about the business of all this.
Uh-huh.
And I think
You're getting there.
that
He's tiptoeing to it.
Microsoft is going to want a successful hit from Double Fine.
I like where you're going.
Not just
Oh,
a good
shit.
game, because good games aren't good enough these days.
Critical acclaim can only do so much.
I don't know. I don't know what Greg's doing. I don't know where you're leading. I don't know.
Licensed. You're going to say licensed, yeah?
100%.
Fuck
So
yeah, come here.
Yeah,
I thought you were
Grab
just
the back of his neck and tell me how close we are.
Grab
Go
the
for
back.
it. Grab the back of his neck. Grab the back of his neck.
I don't know if I want to.
Grab it, Flex, grab it.
I don't know necessarily about licensed. It'll be an existing IP.
Known IP.
It'll be a known IP, not a Double Fine IP. It
An
won't be
Xbox
Brutal
IP.
Legend 2. It could be Xbox. It could be Marvel. It could be whatever.
Klonoa.
I do think, though, it's more
Yeah.
likely it'll be
Because I do have.
something from, a Banjo, a Spyro, or this
Okay,
or
I'm glad
that,
you
or
said it.
whatever. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be those things. I'm just saying Double Fine's next game based on an IP that's not a Double Fine IP.
I like that.
I like it.
I hadn't thought about this either until I read, this milk toast Paris prediction.
It's because he's not here.
Hey, man.
just
He
can't
knows the
defend
rules. If he's
himself.
not in the room, he gets dunked on. I like that. Where, immediately when you started jumping in there and we went the licensed route or whatever. I agree. It could be anything, a video
I just want to
game.
clear. I went the license route. You went the
Because you were right there. You were about to say it. I was helping you out. I was helping you out. I think, what'd be a fun one for them to do? I think a fun one for them to do if they did and this is not my prediction, but I'm tossing it. There's just spice to keep you excited. You know what I mean? Keep you up. Keep you at midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I think them teamed with Marvel for a Miss Marvel game could be really fun. A Kamala Khan game
Oh.
of some kind. Not behind the back, third person, straight up, but she's so creative with her and big in powers and stuff. I think you could do something really fun.
I was way off because I thought you were going to say Viva Pinata. I was.
I
sure
mean,
you
oh
were
my
gonna go that
God, yes.
direction.
If Viva Pinata, yes, that's I mean, you want to talk about a cult classic so many people say they want.
Yeah.
What Double Fine's take on Viva Pinata would be fantastic.
Do you think, Tim, that during whatever this reveal is, that we get a glimpse at who the main character is? Because there's, or actor, because there's always, they always kind of have little celebrity cameos or just actual, I think of Elijah Wood
Yeah,
with Broken
of
Age.
course.
Is it going to
Jack
be one of
Black.
those level of actors? I'm not saying.
Jack Black as Miss Marvel.
Oh, now we're talking.
Come on.
I don't know where a lot of my thoughts are coming from, but I really feel
They're not my thoughts. I guess I stay up at night. I'm scared.
It was like the stilted way he said it as if he's fighting back. I'm not fully in control of my body.
and again, maybe Double Fine's doing fucking great, and these games are successful financially in a way that is all good. Something just tells me they're not. So it's I just feel like anything that might be a risk, they're not going to do. So I don't think it's going to be a Jack Black. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a little too big at this point. So something smaller perhaps, but I don't think that's what they're going to hang their cap on. I think it's going to be more just like, yo, we make good games and this one's going to sell well. How well did Psychonauts 2 sell? Maybe it sold great.
I mean, it was critically very successful.
Exactly. And I'm not talking about the quality of the game. Like, we know they can do that.
1.7 million copies by April 1st, 2022.
Interesting. I mean, that's sold, not played. Good for them.
Yeah.
By what date?
April 1st, 2022. So that's like 8 months, 9 months?
They got to be like at 2.5, maybe 3 now.
7 months.
That's pretty good.
6 months.
Andy, we're back to you.
And here's the thing. Halo Studios pops up, right? It's their first game being called Halo Studios. No longer 343. They are the Halo Studios brand, and we are going to get a game that is going to be. It's going to be Nathan Fillion's character from Reach.
Oh shit.
ODST.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like a sort of side campaign off of one of those characters, like a prequel type deal, dealing with ODST. I think they're going to like go away from Chief for just a little bit. It's going to be a short little romp. Don't expect this expansive open world thing. I think it's going to be like, hey, let us prove to you what we can cook with this project. I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's going to be a Halo game with Nathan Fillion.
Crazy. You're fucking great. Going back to what I was just saying, they need to just make a Halo game that people love, and you don't do that without the Chief. And I understand even with the Chief, it doesn't mean people are going to love it.
And that's
all the
where
way.
we're at. That's where I'm at.
Like, no, Andy, I'm just like, this is your prediction.
We have that discussion all the time when it comes to, tired of these remakes and new IP, or tired of movie remakes and new IP, and then when there's a new thing, people don't do it anyway. So it's like, at what point do you? Right now, Halo's in a state that it's always sort of like up and down. Are people angry in the community? Are people happy with where Halo's going? I just feel like this is like their new slate. But Infinite gone.
How do you just like actually make the most people happy with the product? You just remake the first one, Unreal Engine 5, and it's on every console.
I'll add that to my prediction. Tack it on. Nathan Fillion's in it.
Real talk, I think that's way more likely.
Back. Yeah.
Paris Lily chimes in. Future of Halo is teased.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Just
I don't
teased?
know. You know what I mean? Feels like we're gonna make more Halo. Shut up, Paris. You know what I mean?
I mean, real talk, I do think that like
mean to him
there's
today.
like Paris is onto something of like there is a high likelihood that if we get something from Halo, which I think we will, it is just a actual official announcement that a game is coming in the future.
It's just an announcement. We're not getting like Chief in the poncho.
Well, because we already got Chief in like the picture of him in the Unreal Engine 5. You know what I mean? Like that feels so early that like that game, unless it's a remake, or a smaller project like Andy's saying, like we're not getting that game.
It's crazy to think that
soon.
whatever the next Halo thing is going to be next gen. Like that's going to be for whatever the next thing is.
I don't think that's crazy in terms of like what Paris is talking about here. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Because I wonder if like it's too early to talk about that. Unless Xbox. I mean, we've talked about how maybe Xbox could be trying to get ahead of it, right? As far as when they launch next gen, could we see a new gen Xbox? And I mean, next year feels early, but in the next 2 years,
Yeah.
does that mean you announce a Halo now?
I mean, again, I'm standing by. I think that whether it's just Master Chief Collection being ported or a Halo 1 remake, which I do think is happening in Unreal 5 on every console, I think that is the next step for Halo to be able to rebuild if they want to, or if they possibly even can. I think that's the bigger question. Can they?
I think there's going to be a lot of studios that. The reason why I'm leaning towards these smaller projects is I think a lot of these big ass studios are going to have smaller teams working on smaller things while the big thing is cooking, while the big thing is being made. So whenever that next big project happens, we would have already had something to come out. So it doesn't, like yesterday on the Gamescast, us talking about these studios taking 7 years to make their next big game because they're so expensive and things take so much time. Having these smaller, more mobile teams within your squad to pump out something that can at least get some revenue in and not make people question whether you are existent, whether you exist anymore,
Yeah. Gregory.
The Xbox Cross ROG Ally gets a trailer/commercial like I just learned all of that. I haven't been drinking, I swear. The Xbox Cross ROG Ally gets a trailer/commercial like the console options one from last year. You remember this? It was a 45-second, hey, boom, space black Xbox Series X. Well, here's the white one and all that jazz, right? They show that again. They come out, you're looking at the ROG spinning. It's got the nubs on it like we know from the leaked image, right? It's got the Xbox OS running on it. That's a big deal for everybody that, blah, blah. But more importantly, I want to make this spicier since we know this is happening for all intents and purposes, right? I think they also tease the next-gen Xbox here as well. I don't think they put a date on it and say next year or anything like that, but I do think that they are open about, similar to how they've been open about this to a degree, but then that they are working on a handheld. Phil's talked about that on this, that, the other, right? I think they get into a little bit here of like, we are hard at work on the next gen Xbox, and I think they probably confirm that it is going to be what we're talking about, what the rumors have been, right? Of it will be an Xbox and it will also dual boot. And I don't know if they'll mention Steam. I don't know if they'll mention Epic Game Store, but I think they'll make it clear that more than ever, what they're working on is the continuation of their promise that everything's an Xbox, and now we want to make the Xbox everything kind of thing. What do you think, Tim? You're nodding. You're percolating. You're thinking.
I mean, I like where your head's at. I want those answers. I want that conversation to happen more than anything. I think one of the things I'm most excited for this week, in a very exciting week, is Xbox OS and what we get from that.
Sure.
But I'm also just not expecting to get much from it from this showcase. I definitely think that's a blog post. That is a
Don't you think that the showcase kicks it off, though? That's how they do this a lot of times.
Yeah.
And they do like deep dives and they do whatever. So I can
Totally.
see it. You get the 45-second thing. Kevin, I just dropped in assets, the purexbox.com article. I mean, you show what the handheld looks like, right? Scroll down a bit, Kev. Right, this guy here that we've seen leaked around. I think that's about
Damn,
it.
get a
Stay
fucking
right there.
Clorox swipe, Jesus.
I know. But you have the nubs on them. You show that. You show the OS on it. And then I think, at the same time, the trailer and the blog post go live on the wire that are really detailing what it is and when it's available and what you're doing with it.
The thing that I'm hesitant about
I've ever seen in my life
is you bringing up the next gen console announcement.
Yeah.
I think that does more harm than good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think there's too much ammunition to everything?
Yeah. I think it just pisses people off. Like, I don't think there's any benefit to that. For, like, what there would be, especially in one of these showcases that, not just traditionally, like, I don't think ever has focused on ecosystem-y stuff like this,
I understand, but I think the ecosystem for Xbox is more important than ever. When we talk about everything as an Xbox, and we talk about the app, and we talk about this.
When I feel like what's more important than ever is that their games are selling.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But I think
actually selling.
I just think it's a good way, especially if you're talking about the OS, the Xbox, whatever, handheld OS. I was off saying Paris, his first prediction on his list was new Xbox experience for Windows that scales to handhelds and cloud devices. Oh, so wrapped right in here with what I'm talking about with what the ROG Ally would be, because I think it's going to be this machine that runs this OS that I think is going to be available for your Steam Deck, for your existing ROG Ally, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I think when they make this move and they talk about this, they need to talk about it. And I think part of the conversation is this is the evolution and proof of our plan, but that doesn't mean we're abandoning the Xbox. In fact, we're making the next Xbox right now, where we're making it so it's your traditional Xbox experience, but taking what that is and bringing in PC gaming at large.
I'm so hopeful, man. They need to fix the Windows gaming side of things on handhelds. And I think that, I don't know why I believe in them so much, but I do with this. I think that the Xbox OS is going to solve these problems.
I think you believe in them because
it seems so early.
They're committed.
I can't believe we're here.
I feel like you believe in them on this one, as I do too, for something we don't know, but because they've seen the success of all this stuff, and again, now they are everywhere. Like the cloud gaming is everywhere, the app is everywhere, everything is a fucking Xbox. More than ever, they need to bring over what Microsoft and Xbox is good at, and that's, getting you into this ecosystem and making you feel welcome and natural, and having it be that it's pulling everything. It is showing my Steam games and my Epic games and whatever, but it's giving me a not just desktop icon.
Plus,
Blade shows up.
sick.
It gets a new trailer. It's a gameplay trailer. It's first person. It's more detective-y than you might expect. I would say it's doing for Blade what Machine Games did for Indiana Jones. Where you're hunting down, I mean, you're doing the hunting down zombies, right? But it is more figuring out like vampires, sorry, I said zombies. But yeah, you're hunting down vampires, and like it is more so like following trails, like, you know, actually like hunting these fucking vampires.
Blade, Redfall.
Exactly. Well, speaking of which, the art style is very arcane, but I'll say it's fitting for Blade. The 3 words I use are dark, cool, and bloody. Blade, the character, is voiced by Tommy Earl Jenkins.
Oh, shit.
And it's dated for
Tommy Earl Jenkins.
Death Stranding.
Die Hardman. It's dated for 2026.
I like this, Bless.
Yeah.
This is a fun one.
That's the full
Fuck.
prediction.
A lot of stuff to think about there.
That would be some fantastic gameplay.
I'm 50-50 on Blade showing up here.
I think it's time. Yeah.
It definitely could
I mean,
be.
it's time. I just
Yeah.
worry, is it actually, are we there? I want this to happen really badly.
Also, I take back the first person part. They already confirmed it's
Yeah, they
third
did.
person.
I was Googling around.
They switched
I like
it.
you're trying, though.
Yeah.
Actually, they switched it up. It's gonna be like
take it back.
it's gonna be like a Avowed, first and
Yeah.
third person. They're adding first. Timothy.
Oh, man.
He's thinking.
Expedition 33. Last year it was announced at the showcase. Now it's a mega hit. Xbox is going to want to continue that relationship, partnership, association to some extent. It does feel a little early, though, to announce anything, to announce DLC or something like that. You know what I mean, Andy?
And the creator did say that there's no DLC plan.
Fucked up.
At the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Give me Expedition 60, the DLC.
So what I'm saying is I think we will get the announcement of DLC, but it is going to be such a vague, just we're doing it. We do it. You know?
It's just the confirmation. Something is happening.
Something new is coming to Expedition 33.
Wee DLC. That's how they say it.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, just two yeses.
Anybody of note announcing it? An Xbox head, or is it somebody from
I think it'll be from a message from the team.
Sandfall? Okay.
Message from Sandfall.
Is it a big group of all of them in front of a camera?
Perhaps.
Okay, I like
Are they
that.
speaking in French but with English subtitles?
Ah.
Just a little bit.
A little bit of both.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I just don't think that they whipped it up fast enough to get to this point.
Yeah.
And even then to confirm, like, hey, we're working on it. Feels soft for a
Yeah.
thing.
It does.
It'd be cool to have some DLC, a new hat.
Yeah.
A new beret.
Too many hats in that
make
game.
It green. You know, I don't know.
Too many hats in the
Because I
game.
do think the next big announcement for that game that needs to happen is a Switch 2 port. So I almost imagine that would happen before a DLC. Because they're going to sell so many goddamn units
yeah.
on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Might replay it on the Switch, too.
Andy Cortez.
I think that we get a real big bit because Outer Worlds is getting the big treatment. Outer Worlds 2 is getting the big sort of deep dive treatment. I think we get the most of a deep dive in this presentation is going to be for State of Decay 3.
Yeah!
Damn it.
And
Let's fucking go!
and it will be crossplay everywhere. What the fuck? Everywhere. They're going to show some, like, it's going to be the, I don't know, lengthwise, if I should say it's going to be the longest part of just the standard showcase, but they're going to show off the most because it's like, we really have to show off that this thing is real and it's happening. And I'm not confident enough to put a date.
See, I got my mind's on there that extended gameplay for State of Decay 3, and I said ends 2026.
Yeah.
I got bullish for a second, and I went and I was like October 14th. I'm like, no, we're not there yet, sadly. But
I mean, it's just crazy. That State of Decay 2 was 2018? It was a good while ago.
Yeah, and this one's been through a lot to get to where it is. But last year they did have that nice presentation, that trailer that led into some gameplay. I think this is the year. Yeah, you show it, you do it, and I imagine early next year, 2026, is when we see that we're actually playing it. But I love that crossplay everywhere.
Everywhere. A lot more, I would say, we see a lot more, not just combat, but survival type things when it comes to, like, But I mean, like, leaning so heavily into more of the survival side of things. I think there's such a gulf in what we think of.
So you're talking like bringing away like more Rust mechanics and things like that?
Yeah, like adding that into the formula, not straying away from what makes State of Decay what it is, but also I always just think back to Blizzard canceling their big survival game, and how stoked a lot of people were to go, man, it's going to be really cool to see what a big AAA studio can do with this genre, because it's always a studio of 7 people working on a early access beta that pops up on Steam, and maybe it never really goes anywhere or becomes anything.
Yeah.
But to be able to put a genre like this on this big of a stage, I think would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would really like that.
It's also just me really rooting for it because it's something I want to get into.
I'll get into it with you.
Thank you.
Greg,
We
get into your
gotta
next
be the
prediction.
Division 2 DLC first.
I know. Well, you're playing on PC. We got to do the whole thing.
You can play on PC.
Well, it's on Game Pass too. We just both start fresh and jump right in and go there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't care. We just figure it out. I'm not. State of Decay was on here. Of course, I'm not keeping it. Don't worry about it. Instead, we'll go to Starfield's latest DLC / update. You okay, Andy?
Fucking ice cubes, they'll get you, man.
They'll fucking get
Every
you,
single time.
dude.
Its latest DLC / update and the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2 versions are announced, and they show the thing, and it's just a trailer. It's really quick. We're not spending a lot of time here, and it's winter. I don't know if the trailer will say winter. I think the Xbox Wire post might say winter in there, or hint at that end of the year winter time frame, maybe even early next year, somewhere in there. I'm saying winter. You can interpret how you want to. All right, Blessing.
August.
But yeah, I don't think it gets a lot of stage. I don't think the DLC's big. Like I don't know. I don't think we're getting another Shattered Space as much as I want that. I just don't think that moved the needle. And I think they're probably all heads down, or want to be all heads down, on Elder Scrolls 6. So I think there is an update here that is the final Starfield, whatever. That way they can say, here's the PlayStation 5 and Switch copies that ship, and we're not doing anything beyond creations.
I buy that.
I buy it too.
Thank you. Do you buy it?
Sure.
Thank
I
you
heard
for
a lot
buying
about I heard a lot about this mod that people are really into.
Hell yeah. I talked at length about it.
Homie Washburn is like creating ship fleets and things like
exactly. Yeah. It's cool.
God.
Give it a shot.
Bless, remember when you rated me the other day on Twitch and I was streaming the Outer Worlds
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody randomly in chat popped up and said, "Andy, why don't you? So you're what? You're not into Starfield?"
Oh yeah.
And it was just a random person.
Just a random person. Yeah.
And I was like, I'd never seen them in chat, but I was also like, I haven't mentioned that at all yet. And then Blessing immediately popped in with like, yeah, Andy, why don't you fuck with Outer Worlds? And it was such a weird sort of thing thrown at me, but I loved Starfield a lot.
I know
Like
you
I
did.
played a lot of it. I was not happy with how a lot of the missions went, but it's always something I want to go back to because I love that sort of fantasy of, this is my ship. I made my Moonlight Greatsword like the Souls weapon, and it was I love that creativity part of it.
I did a Greg Way on the latest update from the Creation Suite to get into, right? But yeah, you'd especially love this one as much as you fucked around with ships, because the idea is that you're now taking your NPC, your companion characters, and assigning them to the ships you have to make the fleet. And then the idea is that you have to go off on these missions on the ground, right, where you're attacking these bases. And now, again, remember everybody, I know I rant and rave. Let's actually put over the Watchtower update, because it's made by the Fallout 4 mod people, like the people who are the most famous for community mods. So this isn't a Bethesda thing. You go down with your ship and your companion or whoever, right? They have now these mechs that the creation people you have to then call in airstrikes from your fleet in the sky by throwing the grenade, lighting them up, then the
Helldiver
airstrike.
style.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That blow
awesome.
up those guys so you can infiltrate and do it.
I would make a little fighter ship, kind of reddish maroon looking, call it the Reduvia, the dagger from Elden
Oh,
Ring.
yeah,
I would just make
like
every
that a
ship
lot.
out of.
I like that a lot.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
be
yeah.
cool.
We are exactly halfway through our Xbox predictions, everyone. So here's a word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by X-Reel. Y'all know that a few months ago, my life changed forever when I brought a pair of X-Reel 1 AR glasses on a long flight to New York. I legit could not believe how easy it is to use and high quality my experience was playing games, watching movies, TV shows on the plane without just too much extra stuff around me, or especially not a giant goofy headset around my head. No joke, this is my favorite new tech product in years, and it has earned a permanent spot in my travel bag. It is only hard to believe that it works as well as I'm saying until you try X-Reel 1 AR glasses for yourself. And then you will see that the future is now. The tech is here. Connect X-Reel 1 glasses to wherever you are playing, whether it's a handheld console, a PC, phone, home console. You just get a massive 150-inch virtual screen anywhere, anytime, for any game. Gaming on the go like a long-haul flight, you need the X-Reel 1. Neck starting to hurt from staring down at your handheld? We've all been there. You need an X-Reel 1. A screen as big as your wall. Instant plug and play with all of your devices via USB-C. Built-in audio with sound by Bose, anchoring your screen anywhere in space. It's awesome. It just works. Zero latency at 1080p full HD. These are what make X-Reel 1 a must-have. And we hear X-Reel 1 Pro is coming soon with an even bigger virtual screen. Hit our link below to get your X-Reel glasses today. There's nothing better than when a sponsor of Kinda Funny is something that we are legitimately obsessed with, and that is exactly the case here with X-Reel. You're going to hear me talking about these forever. Go to xreel.com for more.
On this thing.
Blessing. What is your third?
You gotta go first. You gotta go first, dude. You gotta go first.
I gotta order this hand roll. Okay.
Yeah, Blessing's ordering some sushi.
It's a big day for me. I got 3 things
I
back
get
to
it,
back.
dude.
So I was also going to predict State of Decay 3. And so I'm not going to do that now
Oh,
because Andy took that. And that was going to fit within my theme because, of course,
we could go half and half on it.
all of my predictions. I mean, do you want half this hand roll that I just ordered? My predictions have had the theme of 2026 being a banger year for Xbox. So I'm going to take a vacation from that theme. Instead, this is a tough one because I actually don't expect this to happen, but I'm going to predict it anyway to get it out of there, right? Fallout 3 remaster. It's happening. We know it's happening. When there's smokes, there's fires.
Smokes and fires.
It's going to be announced, and it's going to be called Fallout 3 Remaster, but when we look at it, we're going to go, that's a remake.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Can we not do this again?
Continuing the trend of nobody knowing the difference between a remaster and a remake.
If all the 3D assets are remade, it's a remake.
I'm going to say that it's out this fall.
Whoa!
That would be such an insane remake year for Xbox. Not that that's a problem, but we got Oblivion.
Yeah.
We're getting Gears of War.
That's the thing is I say it even though, like, the reason why I say out this fall is because it's been rumored for so long and it feels like they've been working on it forever. It, at the same time, doesn't make sense because, like, would you drop it at the same time as you're dropping Outer Worlds 2? But also, just this first half of the year, they dropped Avowed and Oblivion and Expedition 33 the same day.
I had on here, too, that they teased the Fallout 3 remaster. My reasoning being, of course, this is different than Oblivion, right? Oblivion, of course, was the worst kept secret, and then they shadow dropped it the best they could, right? I think here, this is a remaster, and I do think it's a remaster. Again, I think it's
Like in the same way that Oblivion is?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's Unreal 5 running on the Fallout 3 thing, so it all looks beautiful and yada, yada, yada. But I think what's different here is you are trying to hype the people who love the Fallout TV show. The Fallout TV show hit, everybody was caught off guard, and everybody went to play Fallout, and there was no new Fallout. So that meant Fallout 4 spiked through the roof, and New Vegas was suddenly super popular again. Even 76 got this huge breath of life, right? I think now coming in, they want to have something ready for those people. And where I'm at with it is I don't think you put a date on it, but I do think it hits around the show, and Season 2 premieres in December. So I don't know if you premiere it at the beginning of Season 2, at the end of Season 2, somewhere in the middle of Season 2, but I do think the idea here is you watch the show, holy shit, I can't believe how good Fallout is. I want to play Fallout again, and this is there for you.
Yeah.
So I guess it is then premiere.
I'm going to adjust my fall thing into a December thing.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with
did
Bless
it.
everybody.
We
We
did
did it, everybody.
And I also love the idea that them going, man, we saw so many people hop into Fallout when the TV show came out, but that game's only $20. Imagine if we had a $50 title.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no. This is here to make money.
Tim Geddes.
Tim.
He's making a face. Right
I'm
there.
making a face because you know what?
He licked his lips.
I have to say this.
Grab
I
my
have
neck.
to. Somebody has to. Every prediction season at Kind of Funny / The World, and I don't think you all see what I'm about to. Do you have thoughts on what I'm about to say, Greg?
Yeah, Hollow Knight.
No.
The S word. Oh.
Mm-mm.
Everwild.
A different S word. Different
Skate?
S word.
Super Monkey Ball.
It's black, and all of a sudden you hear
Oh.
3 green dots.
hell
Splinter
yeah.
Cell
Hell
remake
yeah.
actually shown. Everyone's saying it looks so good. Oh my
looks so
god!
good.
But there's no Ubisoft showcase for them to announce a game that's probably not anywhere close. Xbox.
Damn, that's not bad, dude. That's really not bad at all. Tim.
Again, there's been a lot of. I've been seeing Sam Fisher on my feeds a lot recently. Why? Is it just because it's the season? We all have to have this conversation? Probably.
I mean, didn't Ubisoft tweet out the Sam Fisher thing?
I think they
Just an
did.
image of Sam Fisher.
Look at this man.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll look at him. But Tim, we'll look at him. We'll do it, Tim. I'm sorry.
So yeah, them Ubisoft not having a showcase, I feel like they're most likely
Gotta go somewhere.
here, and you know, maybe I'm just a fucking old ass man, and I am, but I'll always associate Splinter Cell and Xbox. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the tweet and assets
thank
from
you.
Ubisoft.
Let's
'cause
look
it
at
is-
this man.
It is kind of a bizarre tweet from Ubisoft.
This looks like almost, Kevin, the asset is now an asset. This almost looks like a Fortnite Sam Fisher from the tweet. Not what we're seeing on screen from Kevin right now, the tweet he's about to pull
But
up
isn't
from.
it, I assume this is from some older Splinter Cell thing.
Yeah.
yeah. Now,
But again,
here's
he's
my
coming
thing.
to Fortnite. Again, this version of it.
I want to add some fun to this because I feel like that's
Get spicy.
if that happens, I'm sure everyone's gonna be excited. But like, that's not enough. It won't just be the 3 green lights. I think that we will see this game. We will see the game.
wow.
Otherwise, don't fucking do it.
Here's
Don't do it.
Let me tack onto it, Tim. Let me
Please
tack onto
tack away.
it. You've noticed a sort of a run-in theme with all the Hollywood. It's always an actor. There's always a somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I would love, and I hope that in this prediction, what we see on screen would be similar to when you beat the freaking PT demo, and that sort of zoom up, and you're like, "Holy fuck, is Silent Hill? What's going on here?" Oh, I guess we didn't know that. But then the camera moves up and turns around, and it's Norman Reedus, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I expect that to happen here with whoever Sam Fisher is, and I think it's going to be John Hamm.
Wow.
Just like 3D rendered John Hamm. You're like, what the fuck is John Hamm?
Hell yeah.
He's so
Mizzou's
handsome.
own.
Fuck,
Mizzou's
dude.
own John Hamm.
Yeah, dude.
I love that we're just casting everybody. It's
I love
now.
it. I love it.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Remember when Kiefer Sutherland?
I'm gonna say it. They're gonna scan his hog.
Whoa.
They gotta scan the hog. Do we have the technology?
You need the bulge
You
tech.
need. Oh my god, you're right.
You need the bulge
Yeah, he's
tech.
wearing a tight little suit. Sam Fisher.
I'm
Greg.
scrolling through Ubisoft's Twitter just to like get a vibe of how do they be tweeting. And it makes the tweet weirder for the Splinter Cell thing.
It's like when someone tweets you a questionable thing, you're like, all right, what side are you lying on? And I go to their profile, I'm like, oh, man.
because I don't want people to be caught up
You
in the
follow
image.
Tim Pool.
Because I think Kevin brought up like zoomed in on the or not zoomed in, but like brought up the image, and I think people were like, oh, he looks weird or whatever. And I don't want to be caught up on like the quality of the image because it's very obviously just a screenshot of an old Sam Fisher thing. I'm more so caught up in just the text of the emoji of like they do 2 eyes and then like a mouth between it, kind of meme kind of thing, and then hashtag Splinter Cell. That's not within the tweeting philosophy of how Ubisoft does things on their X.com page.
Somebody hack
At
them? Or?
this man.
Like it's very much like oh, look at this. And it's like, why? Why are you telling us to look at this?
Right.
Look at this
man.
photograph.
It's happening. I'm with him.
Andy Cortez.
We finally see Everwild again. And it is
Crazy.
starring. No, I'm kidding.
Zendaya.
It is Zendaya. We finally see Everwild again. And for me, if I were to guess, if I were to just sort of put myself in the executive
If you were to
room,
predict on, say, a kind of funny Gamescast.
if I was to predict what was happening behind the scenes, that this project is seen as like something that just has to come out, and we got to like just move on to something else. You know, like we've stewed too long on this. I think it will disappoint. I think we'll be excited that it pops up, but ultimately by the gameplay, it's going to be one of those by the end of our predictions or by the end of the Gamescast where we're like, yeah, just not really a whole lot shown there. We don't really get what it is or what they're going for. I think it's going to be very survival-ish, co-op, massive multiplayer, kind of like a Destiny shared world shooter type deal, but with whatever they're doing in this world of Everwild. And we're going to be really disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sad.
Real quick, Paris did have Everwild gameplay is one of his predictions.
I hope if we see it again, if it's what Andy's talking about, where it's like, I just get this thing out situation, I just want them to cancel it so bad and just have Rare work on something that we care about. Because like Rare is one of those studios where I'm like, they mean so much to the industry, and they have like, I mean, they put out Sea of Thieves, right? Like they obviously have something there.
Yeah.
Put them on something that matters.
What I think they're going to be going for is going to be, oh gosh, what was the Pokemon ripoff?
Pal World.
Pal World. I think it's going to be something along the lines of Pal World, where in that first trailer we saw one of the creatures helping the main characters, and I think it's going to be a lot about like having a couple of different creature friends to run around the world with you and their creature friends, and you're taking on bosses or you're solving puzzles. But I think it'll ultimately be like, man, that's what it was.
Ooh. But I also don't hold out hope.
Yeah, me neither. I'm more leaning towards the game's done. Canceled.
Oh yeah,
Good,
you'd
but-
think so, right? Especially as we joke, but the dominoes are falling. Xbox is doing really well right now. Great games. It seems like really solid games. So like to put one out that's just like meh.
Yeah, but I'll also say though, like to Andy's point, like I feel like we had that reaction for the most part to Sea of Thieves as well, of looking at it and just being like,
sure,
we don't want Rare doing this, and then they turned it around and made it work, and now it's majorly successful for them. So they could do that, but I'm not betting on that. Greg, what's your next prediction?
Oh, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of the Giants gets a trailer and a 2025 date. I don't think they go into specifics. I could be swayed that they do this, but it gets weird for me where I feel like with these games, Xbox is pretty great about DLCs, and that's such a vague thing to fucking say, but like I feel like it would make sense to time it out kind of with Indiana Jones's anniversary. So December, but that feels too late for me in terms of it. So, but then it's like, if I'm predicting Outer Worlds 2 for September, I'm a little wishy-washy on where I want to put this. So I'm just saying they say 25.
Okay. Andy,
I'd like to tack on to my previous.
tack away.
No, it's my time now. Tack on mine. Talk to me.
I guess I did the same thing yesterday on the Gamescast, where after the fact I had a little kind of funny. You're wrong. This was a interview from Phil Spencer. This article is from February 17th, day after my birthday of this year, and Phil Spencer was talking about the various studios and said, State of Decay is just one of the franchises I love back from the original one, so that stays on the board. I do think that the work Double Fine's doing and how Tim Schafer kind of solicits feedback from the team. And the other one I'll say, because I was recently out at Rare, it's nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making.
Okay.
That is him volunteering info.
Yeah.
I think usually things are fucked whenever mum's the word,
Yeah.
and that gives me more hope.
I'm with you now.
Luckily, Phil's never gone back on his word.
If there was a camera over there,
Oh God,
that
it's one of the good Greg faces that is not being seen right. Bless, what's your fourth prediction?
I'm abandoning the 2026 thing. Because I want to get more. Yeah, because
too
the more I
lasting.
think about it, the more I'm like, the far out predictions are more exciting. And so I'm going to do one that would excite me a lot, which would be coming off of Machine Games, Wolfenstein 3 finally gets announced from Machine Games. We don't see much. It's just a short cinematic with the logo. The world wants it. Everybody wants it.
No.
Everybody wants Wolfenstein.
I want it so bad.
People want it so bad.
I want
Greg,
it
you've never
so
played a
bad.
first-person campaign in your life. All right?
Well, I have.
The people who have want it.
Yeah,
What do you think of Titanfall 2's campaign?
man, I had such a man.
Overblown, it was the multiplayer.
I had
Exactly.
I had such a banger joke yesterday on the stream. We need to clip that out when somebody was like, "Andy, are you gonna play the Hell Is Us demo?" When we were playing Elden Ring on the stream yesterday, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Like it's something that I was always stoked for, and now it's Greg's most anticipated. I was like, "The game is cooked then." Like this game's gonna suck.
yes.
This game's gonna be 6.5 out of 10.
I am a joke.
Timmy.
You know, it's just like that point
La,
in
la,
the
la.
predictions where we've said so many things already. And there are the games that are like, I'm sure we got to talk about Gears. I'm sure we got to talk about Forza,
Course.
but I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that. What do I want to do? Fuck it. More spice. And this is one of them ones, I'm saying it because if it does happen, it's going to change the world. Bless.
I could change
I think it's very unlikely it happens at this showcase. I think it'll happen somewhere else if it ever does. But that's not the spirit of this. I'm sticking to it. I'm wasting one of my spots on something that bless lock fucking in. Rare replay. With Donkey Kong 64
Come on,
coming to the
baby.
Nintendo Switch
Come
2,
on,
baby.
baby.
I
I
don't
need
think it's time. Maybe that's a later down the line thing, but I do think we will see that at, eventually. A rare replay with rare Nintendo games on the Switch 2.
Donkey Kong Countries 1 through 3, DK64
Mm-hmm.
with Dinosaur Planet.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't in rare replay, right?
No, it was
Okay,
not.
cool.
I
That
mean,
was-
Dinosaur Planet, I've never even officially released.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Star Fox Adventures. Yes,
Which was Dinosaur Planet.
yes,
Yeah.
that one. Put it in there.
Yeah.
That'd be
Crazy
sick.
dream shit, but like
That can't happen
all
here.
the thing. I mean, I think it's just a little too early because I'm standing on the dev kit theory of the Switch 2, and it seems like Xbox either didn't have the dev kits or just was like not prepared because they're still dealing with so many different things at once. But we're going to clearly get a slate of Xbox games coming to Switch 2. And Microsoft and Nintendo have had a healthy relationship in the past. They made Banjo happen in Smash Brothers. And since then, I do feel like there's going to be a bit more actual love given to the Nintendo side of things. I
Yeah.
just don't know when that's
I mean,
gonna
Switch
happen.
Online has had quite a few Xbox-owned IPs now,
Mm-hmm.
so makes a lot of sense. Maybe not for now, but like makes sense in the future.
I'm just throwing it out there because they might get spicy. Andy,
It's weird that I thought for a while there we were going to have so much more Xbox and Nintendo love for those earlier type of entanglements. And then Sony just like releasing Horizon Lego on there. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, like I really thought this was Xbox's moment to kind of make this relationship stronger
I
than
mean, Diddy Kong Racing, dude.
oh my gosh.
real
Very
quick,
clear.
we have Michael in the chat saying, did Tim forget this is an Xbox show, not a Nintendo show? And then
I mean, I think-
Comstock says Nintendo stuff's announced during Nintendo things. Yes, and I absolutely agree with you that I
Thank you, Kevin.
that I
Thank
think-
you, Kevin.
I do think that Nintendo not only tends to, but like almost exclusively controls their own stuff and only talks about their stuff there. But remember when Star Fox showed up at a Ubisoft press conference?
Yeah.
Things happen.
Before you pivot back to Andy, I do want to give you one of Paris's here, okay? Clockwork Revolution gameplay. I don't even remember what the fuck
I had that written down.
Clockwork Revolution is. Yeah, can I see whatever footage we
That
have
was
of
like
that?
Is that the
Steampunk
single-player
clock-
game
clock
from-
punk,
In Exile.
In
Yeah.
Exile.
I believe,
Yeah.
yeah. Kind of like
It's like
did it give, like
Bioshock-y.
Bioshock vibes. Yeah,
Looks like Bioshock Infinite. Yeah. Fighting a lot of automatons.
yeah.
Okay.
Game looked really cool.
Yeah. It's a gear game. A lot
Like
of
you're picking
gears.
up
Metal Gear?
Oh, a lot of gears going.
A lot of gears.
I thought you meant like purple and blue and like rarity
no,
picking up
no,
gear.
no.
Okay.
Andy Cortez, what's your final prediction?
Ay.
Power Rangers?
It's kind of a bummer. We don't see any Fable 4. And that's because this is I get extra points if this happens later on in the year, so this has to be like put into effect retroactively.
Sure.
Because it becomes the after Xbox game showcase
Next year.
next year.
Okay.
Before
I like
it
that
comes
a lot.
out in the
That, I
fall.
agree
Yeah.
with that for sure. Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
That
call.
becomes the next big thing. But we don't even get we maybe see it in a sizzle reel of like, and we're the teams are so excited for what we're working on, and it's just kind of you get a glimpse of it, but it's maybe footage that's already been shown in a past showcase or something, just as a reminder. Hey, it's still cooking, but no mention of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I almost put that down there. I talked myself out of it.
Greg, final prediction.
I want to point out this is my 7th prediction on the list because, of course, we've been chiming in. So this is like my fucking limpest of dicks, all right? But it's the fact that both Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 are limited to trailers talking about things that have already happened. Worm Cult, season of the Worm Cult for ESO, which just dropped episode 1, and it's June 18th, right? That's coming to consoles. And then Fallout 76 just put out that fishing update. That'll be it. So it's just like, traditionally, I feel like we get here and we do have something. You know what I mean? Last year was Skyline Valley for 76. ESO is always cooking on something. I guess my prediction here is no big news from them because they've kind of just played a card, and I think they just need to remind you that that's happening, which isn't super exciting. Just like this prediction.
Yeah.
Give me the points.
Give them the points.
I mean, again, Greg, you're saying things that I think are very important to remind people. But like now that Bethesda, Xbox, Activision are all part of the same thing, like what used to be multiple showcases is now one showcase. And now that Xbox is also publishing on multiple consoles more often, it's like there's just going to be endless things to talk about in the way that there seemingly was endless Bethesda stuff when they would get in the nitty gritty of all these games. But I also don't see them retreating from doing that still. So I think you're right. Like, we will still get those little updates, but I do think they'll be condensed even more.
While we're here, I'll give you Pears Lily's final update as well.
Please do.
Or final prediction. His sixth one on his list here was they closed the show with Elder Scrolls 6.
That is a wild one.
That is a wild one that I don't agree with. I don't think it's ready for prime time. I mean, we've already had that tease. It's already there. I think the less you say about Elder Scrolls the 6, the better, until you're like, hey, it's time to talk about Elder Scrolls 6 because we are talking about it because it's imminent, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully 2 years from now, it's the showcase at the end of the Xbox presentation.
Yeah, I'm way more sold on Blessing's earlier prediction about a big Fallout remake. Because
my prediction too.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't think Bethesda
had it
wants
written
to
down.
wade into the Elder Scrolls waters again this year. I think that's like 3 is our showcase right now, or Oblivion 4 that's still our game. That's the thing that we still want to be talking about.
Bless.
All right, this is the last one, right?
It is.
Last day.
Because I did have Clockwork Revolution is coming out in 2026 as part of my.
Kevin, can I
2026
please see
year
a
things.
trailer for Clockwork Revolution?
Since I don't have that one, I got 2 left, and one less exciting one, and I don't want to do the bundle thing. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do the bundle thing. Toys for Bob.
Oh, you motherfucker.
They show up, and you know what they're showing up with? Banjo,
Fire.
No way.
fucking Kazooie.
Damn.
All right, it's been long enough. I know people want to Crash. I know people want to Spyro, but Banjo's been gone for too long, and Phil Spencer's heard the cries. All right, do you know what they're asking Phil Spencer? They're not asking him for a fucking Spyro or Crash. They're asking him for a fucking Banjo Kazooie. The fan base is rabid for it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Everybody wants it. They're getting a Banjo.
I like where your head's at.
To go
I do
right up against Donkey Kong Bonanza.
There, I love
It's
that.
out next month.
Yeah.
I think Toys for Bob will be there. I think it's Spyro 4.
Boring. Don't do Spyro 4.
That's not boring. How's that boring? The first new Spyro
In like what 3 years since like
No.
Spyro
reignited trilogy?
Yeah.
It's not a new one.
Yeah, but it's new enough. Even give me a Banjo remake at least. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, yeah,
Banjo's
like-
been gone since like 09 or whatever. What was Nuts and Bolts? 06? It's been too long since Banjo.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, the Skylanders kids, they're all grown up now. And they have minimum wage jobs and they have money to spend. Spyro
Also, I'm hitting on
Skylanders. Dragon,
Spyro.
dude.
I actually really do love Spyro.
Yeah,
I don't know why I
yeah.
went anti-Spyro for
No,
a second.
I get it. I'm with you in the sense that like there is a lot of internet demand for Banjo-Kazooie and there's a lot of love for Banjo-Kazooie. I think that Banjo, it is going to be harder to get that game great than it is for Spyro or Crash. And I think that Banjo needs to be better than a Spyro or Crash to matter. So I don't think that they like just get that out. And with everything we know about what Toys for Bob's been up to / not up to and all the shakeups, like if they're working on a Banjo, I'm concerned about that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
And because like I feel like if they announce it here, it's coming out this year. And
I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking,
Really?
yeah, maybe like next year or the year after. I
I
was
don't
thinking
think
you
it's
just
hot
come
about
out
that.
and just say Banjo is returning.
I mean, then I'm hyped on that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Fuck, that was gonna be my last one though.
I mean, you can still do it and say Spyro.
Spyro, that's not fun.
No gear, like no E-Day, no.
That's too easy.
No,
I'm not here for easy points.
I don't believe that.
I'm here to tell you that Tommy Earl Jenkins is voicing Blade.
No Ninja Gaiden 4 Shadow Drop.
No.
Yeah,
because-
what is the shadow drop?
So-
There has to be a shadow drop, right?
Well, so okay, I'm just gonna I have a list of just shit to talk about here, and I'll figure out where my prediction is as we go through this. But Ninja Gaiden 4 will be talked about. We'll get a release date for that for sure. I don't think it's shadow dropped, but I think we get the date. Persona 6, Persona 4 remake or Persona 6, one or the other, very likely to be here, I would say. Forza Horizon 6 is the big question. And I tried writing down some dates here. It's been 4 years since Forza Horizon 5. It was 3 years between Forza 4 and 5. So we're due for that announcement. My hesitation is Playground having just ported Forza to PS5. I don't know what that looked like, but I also don't think it's like that heavy of a lift. So I think it is time for Forza Horizon 6,
I mean, I love it.
right?
I mean, I want it. it feels about time, like if we're going. But I guess Fable is the thing that colors my opinion on it, where I'm like, yeah, how much time are you spending working on that? I know it's multiple teams or whatever.
Multiple teams, though. I don't even think that's the same teams at all.
Panic Button was the main lead dev on
The port?
on the port, in partnership with Turn 10 and Playground, but Panic Button was like the lead.
Other things I got here is Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth finally coming to Xbox, Game Pass, Shadow Drop, all that stuff. I'm still not convinced that it's coming to Xbox. We'll see. So my prediction that I'm actually going to stick to. It's pretty boring, but I made some crazy ones that I'm not going to win. So I want to win here. Gears of War Reloaded Beta Shadow Drop.
Oh,
You can download the demo right now.
Yes.
that'd be fun.
There has never been a better time.
Yeah.
I was so bummed out that I played that game on Xbox. I wish I would have waited for this version. I wish I knew. I'm just so bad at controller now, man. It's just really sad. It's a sad state of affairs, man.
I want to get through all the super chats y'all have been sending through so I can get your opinions on if you think that these things are going to happen here. I mean, let's start off with Gears of War E-Day. No one's super chatted about that, but we didn't talk about it. What do we think they're going to have or not have?
I think it'll be gameplay, and I don't know how long it lasts, but it's definitely more than last year's mainly sort of cinematic cutscene that they were showing us. Like we see kind of in motion, we see the roadie run.
Love it.
Man, I really going back playing Gears recently. Really wish we had accessibility on the mind a lot more back then, because the roadie run the roadie run makes me nauseous. Your camera shakes like crazy. Let me tune that down.
Nathan Maloney writes in and says, Transformers War 4 plus Fall of Cybertron remaster.
Whoa.
I would mark the fuck out for that. I would a remaster of those games, I think, would be vastly preferable to just them showing up on Game Pass or whatever. But even that I'd take at this point. But yeah, that'd be very cool. I don't think it's impossible either. I do think that we're at a point that inevitably we're going to see those Hyman Studios games.
You think so?
Do.
What about my Ultimate Alliance? We get an Ultimate Alliance ever?
That stuff gets more complicated.
I know it does.
Yeah.
I'm aware how complicated
I'm not
it is.
sure.
Damn it. Don't do this.
Guitar Hero Arrow says, we finally get another Elder Scrolls 6 trailer. No gameplay, but it's all in engine. No subtitle yet. Trailer ends by revealing a 2027 window.
It's just, we don't need to see it again. I want, but it's like to do it and then say 2027. Like, don't even talk. Don't even talk.
Don't do it. I don't think so.
Anything with Perfect Dark, gameplay, deep dive.
I hope.
They better, right?
But like, when is that game coming out? Like, they showed a bunch of that game last year. If we're talking about the second half of next year for Perfect Dark, do you show even more gameplay this year?
But the thing about Xbox showcases the last couple of years is they have no fear about showing the games like every time as they're like getting ready for a release. Like think about the South and Midnights and stuff.
But like,
right?
what would you show for Perfect Dark? I guess maybe story related stuff. Because my
Yeah.
thing is like, if you just show more gameplay, then I think that's a boring showing.
That's my
Unless
thing,
unless you have something that's like a set piece moment that's gonna blow people away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have concrete information. That's another one. Next time we see it, it needs to be that it's imminent. I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, cool. Here's the set piece, and guess what? We're doing a direct on its own, and this, that, the other.
It'll be
It's-
developer_direct where we get the deep dive next year on like
Yeah,
our mantra, we get the
Yeah.
actual studio looking.
our mantra.
Dinesta says, what are the chances Forza Horizon 6 gets announced? Will it be on PS5 day one? And what do you guys want from new Forza game? I think chances of it getting announced are higher than not. I think it will be on PS5 day one. And
Japan.
I mean, Japan would be.
Oh,
dope.
that'd be really cool.
Japan.
I don't know why I'm not feeling the PS5 on day one thing for Forza. I guess I need that Band-Aid to be ripped off. Like for like a major like, oh, this is an Xbox ass game and it's coming to PlayStation day one type thing. I know. Well, Gears of War.
Yeah.
But
think
still,
it's
that's
now.
a remaster. I don't know.
We'll see. I get this is I mean, fuck it. You know what? Actually, let me take back my Forza prediction. All right?
Can he do that? Can he do
Can
that?
I do it? Is it legal, everybody?
I mean, depends what we're about to say.
I'm going to take it back and I'm going to stand by. This is going to be the Xbox showcase that every Xbox game announced is going to be day one on PlayStation 5 as well.
Wow.
Everyone.
Everyone.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
bold. That's spicy.
Yeah.
You know what's
Crazy.
another one? Some Avowed DLC.
You have
Have
what I was
they
gonna say?
teased that? Have they said it?
No.
They're doing?
I was gonna say South of Midnight DLC.
That's a good one.
That was gonna be part of my 2026 year bangers, but I was like, I don't know if a 3-hour DLC for South of Midnight is like. But like my idea for it would be that they finally flesh out the villain character that they have in the game. That I felt like by the end of the game they didn't really do as much with as they probably should have.
Because let's talk about my prediction for a second here.
Yeah.
PS5 day one.
Back to me.
Because I want to make sure I'm not crazy about this, because I don't think I am. I was so shocked last time when they did the little developer direct thing, and South of Midnight was the only one that wasn't day one PS5, right?
Or the other games.
Um,
Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden third party, but I think being published by Xbox.
That's right.
I forget everything else that
I
showed
don't
up.
remember either.
I'm
But
looking it up.
I just think that we're at the point of like any game coming out this year. I mean, we already know Gears of War, the remake, and things like that. So it's like, what else this year? Is there even anything that's already confirmed that it doesn't have a PS5?
So
day?
yeah,
Like,
Doom
I
the
think we're
Dark
already kind of there.
Doom the Dark Ages, which was PS5, and then you had Expedition 33, which is like third party. But I think Doom the Dark Ages is a big one
Yeah,
because that
it's
is
a
an
big one,
Xbox
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But it's also
technically it's
Bethesda.
Bethesda, which I know, whatever. But I just think that Gears is very clearly Xbox, and I know it's a remake, but I just think we're at a point that if South of Midnight was announced this
Today.
weekend, it'd be announced on PS5 day one.
Very interesting. I like that a lot. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good wrinkle.
Outer Worlds 2 is PS5 also.
Yes.
Damn. Yeah, you're right.
I'll see.
I'm gonna say at the normal Keeley showcase, add this to my SGF ones predictions, because it wouldn't be mentioned here necessarily, but at the SGF one, we'll get Halo Infinite playable everywhere. Because I don't think Xbox would want to like have that. Hey, guess
See,
what? That
I was gonna say that
you
for
know.
Halo Master Chief Collection.
I feel like Chief Collection's more likely, just because the Switch 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't even thought about Infinite. I like it though.
I mean, I would love that.
I like it.
I'm an infinite truther.
Me too.
Like, what the fuck happened?
Although you know what, I never beat the Infinite campaign.
no,
so
I
can't
barely
even-
touched the campaign, but like that
Yeah.
multiplayer was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, it was really good.
Kyle says, wait. No, Kyle says, sorry to crash the Xbox episode with PlayStation off the bat, but was blessed insider trading with this prediction on the 2D God of War. Seeing people like Grub murmuring about it now too. That's been the conversation. Like that's
Yeah.
been in the
It's been
vibe
in
since the Greek
ether.
thing was even.
I think my prediction came off of Grub. I think Grub was the one who originated the report and like said like a God of War side thing, but then came back and said it's a game. And then I just added some sauce, maybe
Yeah.
some things by saying 2D, but I think we had that conversation.
Zach says, I think we'll finally see Forza Horizon 6. I desperately want it to be in Japan, but I predict it'll be Germany.
Oh.
Icy Wiener says, will Snowbike Mike be around tomorrow night? Hopefully.
Who
We're going to
knows?
check in with him and see how he's feeling.
He's in the iron lung right now, trying to get back on his feet. Because what's tomorrow night, Tim?
Switch 2 launch party, baby. Hanging out right here. Twitch and YouTube. Kind of funny games.
Kevin,
Hell yeah.
Kevin, you can throw up the blue sky put in assets. We can officially confirm we are streaming from the Nintendo store. So tomorrow at 7:45 Pacific time, we will go live. Probably Roger, hopefully Mike in the studio, then kick to Tim and myself and Kevin behind the camera over at the Nintendo store as we build up to that 9:00 launch from there. So we're very, very excited for that.
Pretty cool. Like, we're
Very
actually,
cool.
I doubt anyone else is going to do this just because we're so weird and we're like, let's try something. You just told the story recently, Greg, but 10 years ago, we were like the first people to ask who even was making Rock Band at that time, or Guitar Hero Live.
Yeah, Activision.
We're like, can we do a Let's Play and just post that as our preview? And they're like, that's weird, but sure, why not? And it's our, to this day, most popular Kind of Funny Games video. This feels like the same thing of us being like, can we live stream from the thing? Which
awesome.
doesn't sound like that novel of an idea, but I don't think anyone else is going to do it. And we got approval. So Greg and I live streaming from the Nintendo store in San Francisco for the Switch 2
Shenanigans, lots of
launch.
hijinks and shenanigans
gonna
they
be
want to see as we
freaking
build up
awesome.
to buying, and then of course we will buy those systems and drive back here to the studio and unbox them, play with them, hang out.
I will be in studio with Roger as well. If I hope Mike isn't here sick.
Yeah.
I will be masked up most likely if Mike ends up showing up.
Sure,
Very
Greg, if you
smart.
get sick, can I go in your place?
of course,
Okay, cool.
but nothing's stopping me.
CJ Splitzon says, will
Don't
games
drink
be
anything today.
reintroduced with PS5 and Switch 2 logos? That's what I'm most interested to see, is like how they handle all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be a big pomp and circumstance, but and we also have Keely's show that I do think can handle some of the heavy lifting of just, hey, these games are also
Multi-platform.
coming to different platforms. Pretty Dude says, I understand Xbox is basically third party, but I don't want this show to be filled with tons of port announcements of older games. New games is fine. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were just saying that. Like, it's going to be a mix, man. Xbox just has too much.
I will say Paris Lilly on one of these social media apps, said, there's too many, did say that this showcase was going to be another 9.5.
I love that.
When he said it last year,
He was fucking
right.
right. I hope so. And also, that at this point, if Xbox has a bad showcase, that is entirely on them, and they fucked up.
They have so much.
They just have so much. Like, they have too much. It's constantly good things to get people stoked. Like,
To ask a question that we can have, this is a conversation for maybe another Gamescast, because I agree about how hyped that showcase was for last year, and I expect a similarly hyped thing. Do we feel like we're basking in the Xbox hypeness, though, like post-showcases? You know what I mean? Like, do you guys feel like you're feeling...
You lost me.
Do you feel like you're feeling the results of, like, I guess the highs of the showcase? Does that sustain you in your day-to-day of, like, I guess your hypeness around Xbox games?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Again, like I'm in the weird spot right now as I'm more Xbox than ever, thanks to Play Anywhere and the ROG talking to the Xbox Series X and trading my saves back and forth and doing all that. Like, I think this is this weird thing of like Tim being like, oh yeah, well this is gonna be the one where everything comes to PlayStation. It's like awesome. It won't affect me. I will play these on Xbox because I want to be able to play them on my ROG as well. Same thing when you're talking about State of Decay 3, right? And us being stoked for that. Cross-play everywhere. That's fantastic. I will play it on Xbox so that I can play it on the ROG. I'm sure at 24 frames a second. And it won't, you know what I mean? Who knows what the performance will be. But that ability to have it on, I'm ready. That's what I want.
My number 1 and 2 game of the year so far, South of Midnight and Expedition 33,
Wow.
both from the showcase last year, right? I mean, I get
Sure.
South of Midnight's been in a couple as well, but like, yeah.
Wait, South of Midnight's your game of the year? Or, sorry.
My number 2
Oh,
so far.
You,
Expedition 33 and South of Midnight.
He said it opposite, and I was
thank
like,
you. I'm not
what's
crazy,
going
right? Okay.
on? I was
Well, I
like,
just
whoa.
did the 2. I don't know. Well,
It's
whatever.
Hey,
Whatever.
Tim,
I was,
you got a great neck. You got a great neck. You got a great
Bless,
neck, all right?
bless. Grab his
Grab
neck.
his neck.
Grab his neck.
I'm not grabbing it.
Grab his neck.
Never
Hold
draw
it.
the line.
Have a hold
RPG
of
Saints
that.
says, birthday tax. What a great week for video games. Happy birthday, Mr. Saints.
Birthday to
Mr. Rivia says, Greg, I need a DLC for Mind's Eye called Mind's Eye Hanging Brain.
You're not going to get it.
I mean, we are not exactly sure what this game is, and it sounds like you can make your own
It's
shit. So
everything,
maybe you can
and
do
it's
it.
No,
everything.
that's
all at
everywhere.
once. I'll hang
Everywhere you
brain.
can make your own shit.
No,
Mind's
Mind's
Eye.
Eye was made in everywhere.
Yeah, Mind's Eye was made in everywhere. Think of it like Roblox or Dreams or an Unreal Engine. I don't know what it is.
Gene Sandoval says, fuck. Bless, can you help me here?
Cocteau, like the French playwright, The Rest or The Pest.
It's a quote from the past, I guess, but it's French.
Cocteau.
What's it mean?
I don't know.
Can't be good.
Yeah, I might have said something.
I hate that you know way more French than I'd expect, but not enough to be impressive. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's just the last thing. Yeah, it's actually very true. Well, it's part of the Jean Cocteau. Clement.
Thaddeus
He was
says,
a
sorry,
French poet, playwright, novelist, designer, and film director.
The banger outro to this episode.
Thaddeus says, sorry if you already said this, but do we get Game Pass support for Steam Deck announced? Xbox and Steam seem to be playing very nice recently. I think that the Game Pass stuff is just overcomplicates things. I think we got to figure out the Xbox OS stuff, and we need to see how that works before we can start figuring out how it works with Steam.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Starwolf says, all I want is Halo Master Chief Collection and Gears of War on Switch 2. I don't care what they add to Game Pass or Xbox consoles, just port every 360 game to Switch 2. Yeah, it might be a little too early for the Switch 2 stuff, but maybe not.
Yeah, that was I tacked that on there for Starfield. That's why I really pushed it out to winter, because if it's just the DLC / update and a PS5 version, that could happen imminently, right? But I feel like you would put Switch on there.
Alec Bobko says, Fallout Season 2 trailer.
No.
God,
Don't
that'd be
think
sick.
No, not big enough stage. I honestly, I think you have a better shot at SGF, which I also don't think is going to happen. But I think Keeley's got a better shot at getting that than Xbox does.
so. Poogles says, Call of Duty announces Zombie Chronicles 2 for July, adding Barry to Transit, Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead, Die Rise, and Nuketown.
Cool. I understood some of those words.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get too much Call of Duty from this thing. We'll get some, but I don't think it's going to. I think Call
Do
of
we
Duty.
go back to like how Call of Duty has done it year to
think we
year,
have
where they
to.
have their own event?
I think we have to, yeah. Trevor says probably won't happen, but they show Fable gameplay and it's announced for February or March next year, which will give enough time before GTA 6. Crazy prediction, Final Fantasy 7 Remake finally coming to Xbox. My only thing about Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth is I do not think it'll sell well enough on the Xbox. The only way I see this happening is if it's a Game Pass deal.
That makes sense.
There's also Final Fantasy 16. That's another one as well. Anthem Metal says Killer Instinct 2. I don't think so because Iron Galaxy's working on Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Diego Review says High Off Sinners, so I'm going to predict some gameplay from Arcane's Blade. That'd be sick.
Come on.
That's just saying.
Come on.
And then Thunder Boy ending it here saying Flight Sim DLC that lets you fly around the Halo ring.
Oh, that would be neat.
Yeah, it could be cool. We'll probably see Flight Sim to some extent.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Yeah.
What it'll be, who knows? I don't think it'll be the ring, but that is a cool idea.
I sure don't know. Do you know, everyone? If you do, let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this fun predictions. If you want more PlayStation predictions, check out Games Daily that we did earlier today. If you want Summer Game Fest predictions, check out our Gamescast we did yesterday. And if you want to hear us talking all about the Witcher 4 tech demo that they showed today, you got to stay tuned to Twitch. Stay right where you are. If you're on YouTube, make the jump to the next Gamescast video where Bless and Andy are going to break all that down. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.